Привет из Сингапура. С вами передача «Голубь мира», где разбираем крутые вопросы. Спрашиваем на английском, отвечаем на русском. Подтягивайте язык или смотрите перевод в тайм-кодах. Let's talk about politics and let's start with the definition.
Politics is a well-known word and it is very ancient. To be honest, poly is mean many. Politics is a story which could implement and coherence with any interests. And these people who trying to make our world better, as Maxim Golub says, but in different ways. A lot of them work for oligarchs, and there is a saying that politics is very concentrated economics.
So what are the fundamentals of the skill?
First, there are several levels of politics. First is domestic politics. This about region, this about town, this about some very small area. Another level is about country or canton or about okrug. And last one is planetary scale. When we talk about big issues like Gulf Stream, like our stratosphere, like our even space.
What are the types of motivations people have when they actually want to go into the politics?
First level is to earn the money because politicians they could provide some help to people to wealth people and they could establish or change the laws. Second level is to avoid responsibility because when you are a politician of the high level in the country you couldn't go to court and you are protected. And the last one is to change the world, but not too many people wants to change the world. Why? Because the way they are trying, they understand it is not so easy. When you have a brilliant thought, you couldn't change the behavior of the people. But if you just wait for someone who want to pay for it, you will give to this person calculation how many mio he or she should use to make this come true. And it is much easier. First is to make it by your heart, and second to make it by providing support of someone's money.
Somehow it reminds me one of the jokes that you told earlier, when the politician always would ask, no matter what, he would ask, what is in it for me? Now, when the people going into the politics, probably they get like a different weights or a different scales. So what kind of levels of mastery they might be having there?
They should have a very broad vision. And this is a very funny story, but I know several politicians, and one of them is Zhirinovsky. Now he is dead, but I was using to meet him maybe 10 times. And each time I was wondering how deeply he knows the world politics. Yes, he was looking like a joker, but he wasn't. It was his style to present his ideas. Second, it can be Primakov. I also know this man. He was very sophisticated, very hardworking diplomat. And when I was with him several times, I suddenly realized that he wants to go so deep in any idea to understand everything. So he going even for microbe. And the third level or third feature of the people who are going to be politicians, they are very diplomatic. So deep diplomacy is a way when you have no resources, but you want to achieve the goal and you have no choices, so you couldn't step back.
And when those people who have certain skills, they're trying to achieve their goals, obviously sometimes they're making some sort of things that might not be look good, or they might not be affect their reputation in a good way. So what are the common mistakes they make that actually prevent them to being efficient politician?
To be efficient politicians, you should be independent, but this is not possible. Even if you are Elon Musk, who has more billions than any other on the planet, you couldn't be such a person as you have to. You always used to be like a flugger, so you should know where is the strong wind. And not there are no politicians that could stand выдержать любое движение. То есть всегда есть очень мощные силы, которые продавливают все на своем пути, и иногда необходимо быть not an oak, да, не дубом, а ива. Не знаю, не помню, как будет ива. Не помните, как будет ива? Такое дерево
Need to
плакучее,
remember.
которое has a flexible branches. Получается, что для того, чтобы быть политиком, нужно примерно понимать, что вы можете выдержать, что нет. Это очень похоже на десятиборцев. Это очень такие сильные, крепкие ребята, которые должны держать как бы себя в тонусе, понимая развесовку, да, распределение сил, которую им предстоит вложить вот в победу.
So maybe actually I want to talk in a bit more details, like how the work of politician look like, maybe starting like a day to day or maybe like a weekly, like what exactly they do, what exactly they achieve.
First, they have a lot of helpers who explain them what happened. So they always should be in a light of three beams. First is what is interesting for people, for society. Second, what is interesting for them. And the third one, which is what is interesting for rich people in the country. And sometimes when it is focused and the cycles came in the same way, they could step forward and make some deals. Sometimes they make statement, usual statement or unofficial statement. They make very strong gestures, or, for example, they trying to hide. Может быть, вы помните, были ситуации, когда было обострение, да, и Жириновский несколько раз имитировал, что он пьяный, и говорил Америке, что там, как бы, если там, мы захотим, мы их разбомбим. И получается, это вот и была его работа. Трезвым он такое сказать не мог. А вот как будто бы быть пьяным, this is like an excuse for this bad words. И когда политики что-то говорят, они все время должны четко балансировать. Вот они часто говорят «мы», но мы – это кто? Я с женой, мы – это соседи нашего дома, или мы – это жители планеты? И вот почти всегда за эвфемизмами, за такими обобщениями как раз и кроется их сила или отсутствие силы.
So my next question probably will be slightly more philosophical or probably will require a bit of a different points of view. But obviously, when we hear about politics, it's always the game of a different fractions, of a different strength. Why it happened in a human nature that there is no way for people to actually negotiate and come to one conclusion?
So many people, so many opinions. When you have, for example, wish to play, your music will destroy the peaceful dream of any other person who live nearby. So we are disturbing each other. Мы, получается, постоянно входим в противоречие, потому что наши интересы не совпадают. Каждый себе хочет лучшие ресурсы, и каждый, например, не хочет, чтобы на его территории был мусор. Каждый хочет, например, решить проблему чужими руками, но сам не хочет в это дело вмешиваться. Есть много людей, которым выгодно, чтобы была грязь, чтобы была, не знаю, там наркомания, была проституция. И получается, вот есть такая система сдержек и противовесов. Это, знаете, очень похоже на картину мира, в которой есть разные твари. Есть ночные, есть дневные. Есть те, которые занимаются санитарией, да, ну вопрос. Волк, который съедает больных овечек, он плохой или хороший? Для волков, естественно, хороший. И есть такое, there is a saying, maybe I couldn't translate in a fast mode in English, so I will tell it in Russian. Деревья голосовали за топор, потому что надеялись, что благодаря деревянной рукоятке все-таки он будет их интересы продвигать.
It's quite interesting. And actually, my next question, what is the future of politics? Are there any trends that probably will change the way it's been done, or probably it's the one of the consistent and one of the stable institute of the world?
There are very strong division in politics. First is rhetorical political. So people are just saying, and they write article in newspapers or use the speeches in TV shows. Second level is military politics. For example, right now there is a discussion if anyone able or is it ethical to shut out, for example, satellites. A lot of satellites in the space should be civilian, but apparently they are using for military purposes. Is it okay to shut them down? And another is politic about future. For example, Moon, Venus, or Mars, they would be colonized. People would live there. Who will come first? How many territory he can capture? Is it okay to make division right now? Or maybe we will have wars after it because someone will say, okay, I don't like to live on the hidden side of the moon.
Well, this is quite interesting. And my last question will be how knowing about politics could help to make this world a better place.
It was time I was a students leader and I was a builder of the first students parliamentary in Ukraine. And I was talking with ministers and a lot of politicians. And suddenly I realized that they are also tools. And when you come with words of strength, for example, I have power of 40,000 students and 8,000 teachers and professors. And when I was approaching, every politician should listen me. He had no choice. But when I just alone, I have no voice. Получается, что если вы сможете объединить каких-то людей в ассоциацию или какой-то профсоюз или еще другие вещи, которые законом предусмотрены, политики от вас не смогут отмахнуться. И политики очень любят дела, которые легко решаемы, буквально одним звонком или еще какой-то историей. Они любят себе представить победы. Получается, если у вас есть решение, если за вами есть поддержка, вы просто приходите и говорите политику: давай закроем эту коробочку, буквально сделай одно маленькое действие, забей один гвоздик, и вся коробочка, которую мы вот сейчас наворотили и столько времени моделировали, она будет totally yours.
So sometimes crying willows may decide that the sharp axe is not really their friend, and they can make allies with someone else. А мы рассмотрели навык политика и чем он полезен именно вам. Всем мира.